Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm creating this particular video in the middle of the week because earlier today I was browsing through some friends' Facebook feeds, as you do. And recently I've been seeing a lot of these posts from websites like True Facts or 8Fact, and they have these accompanying images that go along with them. And it makes me think. And it brings me back to a point that I've brought up many times before on my DeviantArt page or even on my own Facebook page about what are my responsibilities as a photographer. What's my objective here? What's my goal? What is it that I want to make happen? And part of that goes along with trying to filter out and prevent some of the Orwellian bull crap that really floods the media nowadays. I mean, you turn on Fox, CNN, NBC, CBS, and what are you getting, really? You get a lot of stuff about random celebrity was arrested, random person did something, let's see, what's the word? Scandalous. Or criminal A robbed bank B and shot 50 people, 4 dead. That's a lot of what you see, and you get the accompanying images that go with it. What you don't really get is the entire story. You don't get all of what's going on. You don't really see, like, you'll get the occasional good news story out there where Citizen A braved a burning building and saved X odd number of people. You don't get as much of that anymore. Maybe because it doesn't happen as often, but it feels a lot of the time that the media that you're watching, rather than trying to keep you an informed public, a knowledgeable individual, is trying to control you. They are trying to push a political agenda that has nothing to do with what actually happened. They are trying to take a news event and use it to manipulate you and tell you what to think. And that is wrong. That is yellow journalism. And sad to say, but it really, really plagues a lot of American media. I get a lot of my news from the BBC, and I'm also fond of the Young Turks. Shout out to you guys. And Turk doesn't actually, in all contexts, mean someone who is from Turkey. Look it up in the dictionary. Have fun. It's kind of cool. But my opinion, my responsibilities, my objectives that I'm trying to meet as a photographer, I am trying to bring to you the world uncut. I'm not trying to bring to you all of the negative that's going on or the positive that's going on. I'm trying to bring to you a scenario. This is where I was. This is what I was able to see. And this is the whole thing. Now, that said, you can't always fit the whole thing in your viewfinder at once. That's okay. Take another photo. Get the other half. Or like 2/3 or whatever it is that first shot is missing. Take another photo and then another photo and then another photo, and you put them together, and that makes your story. Use the most balanced one as your hook. Be honest to your readers, to your viewers. Do not try to manipulate them, manipulate their thoughts and emotions to make them think like you think. That's tyranny over the minds of man. I I forget who it was that quoted it, so shame on me for that. I believe it was one of the Roosevelts. And the quote was, if accurate, "I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against all forms of tyranny over the minds of man." I would like to think that I have taken the same oath. That said, I'm not infallible, and from time to time I'll go off on my rants and tangents and try to make you think the way I think. You're wrong, you're dumb, too. I mean, I'm human. From time to time I'm gonna flip and spaz. But as a photographer, when I put off my, McQueen as a person hat, and I put on my McQueen as a photographer hat, I will not lie to you. I'm not here to sell you something. I am here to open your eyes, to broaden your horizons. And I had a bit of a rant on my DeviantArt page, which I'll link to in the description below, on doing exactly that, what I called serious photography. I will pull it up for you right now. Some of you may be readers of People magazine, but in the rant I kind of go off and be like, I'm not a People magazine person. I'm really not. Because I don't want to just take a pretty model and then Photoshop it to make it look skinny. It's like, this is what pretty is. No! What I want to do is I want to take an image and be like, this is what the world is. This is what's here. See it through unfiltered eyes. Now, that's not to... There are different types of photography filters like circular polarizers and neutral density that you can use to kind of enhance a photograph, but they don't change your perspective on it. I'm trying to show you what I saw through the viewfinder, through the lens. This is as it was. I will try to reproduce the colors as accurately as possible. I might sharpen them a little bit to bring out some of the details that I might have missed, but I will never, as a photographer, show you something that was not there. And I will never, as a photographer, cut you off from something that was there to make you think a certain way. I believe it's part of my responsibility as a photographer to break out of my own comfort zone and to give you the same opportunity. I can't just show you this is what's right. I have to show you this is the situation. This is, gay marriage versus sanctity of marriage, abortion versus right to life. Just to mention a couple of controversial issues that we're facing right now. I'm not going to show you this is why side A is correct. This is side A. Yay, side A, side A. I'm not the fucking cheerleader. And I'm not going to do the same for side B either. My responsibilities and my duty as as I'm running around with my camera is to not polarize the situation. Polarize it politically, not as in polarize it optically. Two different things. But what you get a lot of times in mainstream media is they're not doing that. That I severely dislike. That's propaganda. So for those few of you who are watching this, I think the first video had, what, 7 views? So hopefully this one gets a few so that this message can get out. When you pick up that camera and you go to that event, you go to that political rally, you go to that concert, you go to wherever it is that you are taking photos, that you shoot it as it was, and you be like, hey, people of the world, this is where I was. This is what I saw. What do you think? Not, hey, this is where I was. This is what was there. This is what you should think. This is what's happening. This is, these people are evil. These people are bad for reasons A, B, and C. No. That's not what you're out there to do. And this is all, very opinionated. But I sincerely hope that a lot of you agree. Because the last thing that we really need is another outlet trying to manipulate your mind. That's all on this segment, really. In other news, though, I'm getting back into film photography, luckily, because I found out that the Ilford Lab that recently opened up in San Clemente, California, can indeed develop the infrared film that I've been playing with, which is phenomenally useful because I've been wanting to get that roll of filming developed since last October. So, what is on that film, if we're lucky, is we'll have some infrared photos of the eclipse from Cairns, Australia. Now, I didn't have my D800, I hadn't bought one yet at the time. I had my D7000 down there, so I do have some regular digital photographs of the eclipse, but I also have the infrared film ones, which are now going to be processed and sent back, assuming I'm not a derp lord and messed up the film. What's useful about that, what's really cool about that, is that from where I was at the Cairns Wildlife Dome, up, on the balcony areas, during the moment of totality, there were clouds in the way. You couldn't see it. But what I'm really, really hoping for is that there was enough infrared light at the corona of the eclipse as it reached totality to kind of punch through the cloud layer, and that my film was sensitive enough to pick it up. We'll find out. And if it was, then those are going to be some pretty one-of-a-kind photographs, and I'll be pretty proud of them. But, fingers crossed I didn't mess this up. I mean, I'm good, but with that infrared film and that manual film camera, I was in uncharted territory. I mean, I shot it on a Nikon FM10. So, there's that. I don't have a whole lot else that I wanted to discuss with you. I really hope I didn't lose a lot of you in my rant. But my objective is to bring to you guys the world as it is. Now, I might be shooting things that get a little controversial. I mean, while I'm here, I would dearly love to find out when the protests are going to be and get photos of those people and the people around them. Now, that might sound like a very polarized event, but I'm not going to shoot it in such a way as to exonerate them or to condemn them. I'm just going to show you them. These are the people, this is what they're protesting, and what do you think? Are their actions appropriate? Is this something that we need to be in favor of? Is this something wrong, and why? Because it's not my place to tell you what to think. It's my place to give you the opportunity to think. I got a little bit off topic back on the original one there for a while. But upcoming this week, or rather this weekend, I'm going to be shooting the Tokyo Game Show. They have some rather interesting and vague restrictions on photography and videography, so I'm really not sure how much of that I'm going to be able to bring to you guys. Hopefully enough. Should be plenty of cosplayers there. I'm hoping to network a little bit. Now, that's not really going to be a politically polarizing event like I talked about in my rant, but again, I intend to show it to you as I saw it, as it was. So, thank you for watching. Links are going to be in the description below to my Twitter, my DeviantArt, and my newly launched personalized domain. I hope I didn't piss you off, and I hope you had a good time. So, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for listening, and I hope that I have inspired you a little bit. This is McQueen, signing off.